Sam C. Story time with Dora. Oh, look at that pretty drive. Look at that pretty drive. We're going around the world in 80 days. Part 16. We heading back into the valley, and we's on 89A. And we're going to go by cliff dwellings, which is that right there. And we're going to go past the Vermillion Cliffs, and then we're going to hook back up on the 89 and continue on south into, well, probably that's about it for today. But eventually we're going to get a little further. Oh yeah, there's the cliff dwellers. Little turn off here to get you a burrito or something over at the lodge. They even got ice and fuel. I tell you, there's lacking for nothing out here in beautiful desert. Now this story, oh boy, we left it off in a spot. We'll see if I can pick it up without getting too loopy. So we left it off here with oh boy, yeah, there's just no way to sneak up on it. So we was talking about Uranus, or Uranus if you will, and the discovery of Neptune. And you know what, I'm going to leave it right there, because any further down that road and it's just not going to be good. So here we go. It was every day an increasing wonder to Passepartout, who read in Aouda's eyes the depth of her gratitude to his master, Phileas Fogg. Though brave and gallant, must be, he thought, quite heartless. As to the sentiment which this journey might have awakened in him, there was clearly no trace of such a thing, while poor Passepartout existed in perpetual reveries. Reveries. Oh, I like that one better. That even sounds closer to what it looks like. Reveries. One day he was leaning on the railing of the engine room and was observing the engine, when a sudden pitch of the steamer threw the screw out of the water. The steam came hissing out of the valves, and this made Passepartout indignant. "The valves are not sufficiently charged," he exclaimed. "Why we are not going? Oh, these English! If this was an American craft, we should blow up, perhaps, but we should, at all events, go faster." Okay, old Passepartout. Oh, that's the end of the chapter, guys. That's the end of the chapter. Let's take a little look at this drive here. Oh yeah, so now, if you were following along, when we came up and we're heading towards the coral pink sand dunes there, we went on top of that ridge. You can see it straight above us up there, straight ahead, and that's where we drove up that big old road up there, and you could see all the way down here, and it just looked like a bunch of cracked earth, you know. And it is amazing down here. It is just amazing down here. You could really get lost. Yeah, you got to pay attention down here. Okay. Oh, a new chapter. Chapter 18, in which Phileas Fogg, Passepartout, and Fix go each about his business. The weather was bad during the latter days of the voyage. The wind, obstinately remaining in the northwest, blew a gale and retarded the steamer. The Rangoon rolled heavily, and the passengers became impatient of the long, monstrous waves which the wind raised before their path. A sort of tempest arose on the 3rd of November, the squall knocking the vessel about with fury, and the waves running high. Oh yeah, we just drove past Vermillion Cliffs there. I was supposed to pay attention there while we were in there, but I wasn't, so maybe I'll catch the next one. The Rangoon reefed up her sails, and even the rigging proved too much. Whistling and shaking amid the squall, the steamer was forced to proceed slowly, and the captain estimated that she would reach Hong Kong 20 hours behind time, and more if the storm lasted. Phileas Fogg gazed at the tempestuous sea, which seemed to be struggling especially to delay him. With his habitual tranquility, he never changed consonant for an instant, although a delay of 20 hours, by making him too late for the Yokohama boat, would almost inevitably cause the loss of the wager. But this man of nerve manifested neither impatience nor annoyance. It seemed as if the storm were part of his program, and had been foreseen. Aouda was amazed to find him as calm as he had been from the first time she saw him. Fix did not look at the state of things in the same light. The storm greatly pleased him. His satisfaction would have been complete had the Rangoon been forced to retreat before the violence of the wind and waves. Each delay filled him with hope, for it became more and more probable that Fogg would be obliged to remain some days at Hong Kong. And now the heavens themselves became his allies. With the gusts and squalls, it mattered not that they made him seasick. He made no account of this inconvenience, and whilst his body was writhing under their effects, his spirit bounded with hopeful exultation. Oh, let's take a little peekaboo here. Oh, see, I was supposed to be paying attention. I'm guessing this is the Marble Canyon bit. And there's a really old historic Navajo bridge here, and you can go and walk on it and do that kind of thing here. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. And, yeah, there are a lot of people do reviews and stuff on it, and, you know, they do a really good job. And you find one of those? Yeah, you watch that. You want some this? You watch this. Yeah, it's a pretty cool old bridge, that's for sure. And I'm going to go and walk on it one of these days. But, yeah, I'm usually doing stuff, and, you know, old man. All right. Oh, this drive, I tell you, it just is something spectacular. If you ever get a chance, you can just see the absolute ruggedness of everything around here. There's you know, there's just life everywhere if you look, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, can you imagine having to live here? You'd never have clean shoes. Ha ha ha. Okay, where were we? I lost my spot. Oh, right, Fix us. Pretty excited. Oh, a hopeful exultation. Well, let's pick it up there. Passepartout was enraged beyond expression by the unpropitious weather. Everything had gone so well till now. Earth and sea had seemed to be at his master's service. Steamers and railways obeyed him. Wind and steam united to speed his journey. Had the hour of adversity come? Passepartout was as much excited as if the 20,000 pounds were to come from his own pocket. The storm exasperated him. The gale made him furious, and he longed to lash the obstinate sea into obedience. Poor fellow! Fix carefully concealed from him his own satisfaction, for had he portrayed it, Passepartout could scarcely have restrained himself from personal violence. Passepartout remained on deck as long as the tempest lasted, being unable to remain quiet below, and taking it into his head to aid the progress of the ship by lending a hand with the crew. He overwhelmed the captain, officers, and sailors, who could not help laughing at his impatience, with all sorts of questions. He wanted to know exactly how long the storm was going to last, whereupon he was referred to the barometer, which seemed to have no intention of rising. Passepartout shook it, but with no perceptible effect, for neither shaking nor maledictions could prevail upon it to change its mind. Maledictions. Mela. On the 4th, however, the sea became more calm, and the storm lessened its violence. The wind veered southward, and was once more favorable. Passepartout cleared up with the weather. Some of the sails were unfurled, and the Rangoon resumed its most rapid speed. The time lost could not, however, be regained. Land was not signaled until 5 o'clock in the morning of the 6th. The steamer was due on the 5th. Phileas Fogg was 24 hours behind hand, and the Yokohama steamer would, of course, be missed. The pilot went on board at 6 and took his place on the bridge to guide the Rangoon through the channels to the port of Hong Kong. Passepartout longed to ask him if the steamer had left for Yokohama, but he dared not, for he wished to preserve the spark of hope which still remained till the last moment. He had confided his anxiety to Fix, who, the sly rascal, tried to console him by saying that Mr. Fogg would be in time if he took the next boat. But this only put Passepartout in a passion. Mr. Fogg, bolder than his servant, did not to hesitate to approach the pilot, and tranquilly asked him if he knew when a steamer would leave Hong Kong for Yokohama. At high tide tomorrow morning, answered the pilot. Ah, said Mr. Fogg, without betraying any astonishment. Passepartout, who heard what passed, would willingly have embraced the pilot, while Fix would have been glad to twist his neck. Ha! What's the steamer's name? Asked Mr. Fogg. The Carnatic. Ought she not to have gone yesterday? Yes, sir, but they had to repair one of her boilers, and so her departure was postponed till tomorrow. Thank you, returned Mr. Fogg, descending mathematically to the saloon. Passepartout clasped the pilot's hand and shook it heartily in his delight, exclaiming, "Pilot, you are the best of good fellows!" The pilot probably does not know to this day why his response won him this enthusiastic greeting. He remounted the bridge and guided the steamer through the flotilla of junks, tankas, and fishing boats which crowd the harbor of Hong Kong. At 1 o'clock, the Rangoon was at the quay, and the passengers were going ashore. Chance had strangely favored Phileas Fogg, for had not the Carnatic been forced to lie over for repairing her boilers, she would have left on the 6th of November, and the passengers for Japan would have been obliged to wait for a week the sailing of the next steamer. Mr. Fogg was, is true, 24 hours behind time. But this could not seriously impale the remainder of his tour. The steamer, which crossed the Pacific from Yokohama to San Francisco, made a direct connection with that from Hong Kong, and it could not sail until the latter reached Yokohama. And if Mr. Fogg was 24 hours late in reaching Yokohama, this time, would no doubt be easily regained in the voyage of 22 days across the Pacific. He found himself then about 24 hours behind, 35 days after leaving London. The Carnatic was announced to leave Hong Kong at 5 the next morning. Mr. Fogg had 16 hours in which to attend to his business there, which was to deposit Aouda safely with her wealthy relative. On landing, he conducted her to a palanquin. Let's take a peek at this little drive here. It looks like a whole lot of nothing. That's what that looks like to me. All right, we must be going to join up with the big road here soon. Yeah, the other side of it's on the left up there. On landing, he conducted her to a palanquin, in which they repaired to the club hotel. A room was engaged for the young woman, and Mr. Fogg, after seeing that she wanted for nothing, set out in search of her cousin, Gigi, who he instructed Passepartout to remain at the hotel until his return, that Aouda may not be left entirely alone. Mr. Fogg, let's take another look at this drive. Let's get the right eye sockets in here, and we'll take just a little peek and see where we're at, because I'm starting to think we're getting close. Oh boy. If I step it up here, we're going to get done through this chapter. They were shooting a movie or something down here, and I just wonder if I'm going to come across it here. Oh yeah, here we go. We're going to join up with the 89. I wasn't sure if I had included that footage or not. I'll have to see if I can find it. But yeah, they were shooting a movie there, so they had a couple of movie trucks and they were shutting off certain sections of the road, going back and forth kind of thing. Okay, here we go. Aouda may not be left entirely alone. Mr. Fogg repaired to the exchange, where he did not doubt everyone would know so wealthy and considerable a personage as the Parsi merchant. Meeting a broker, he made the inquiry, to learn that Gigi had left China 2 years before, and retiring from business with an immense fortune, had taken up his residence in Europe, in Holland, the broker thought, with the merchants of which country he had principally traded. Phileas Fogg returned to the hotel, begged a moment's conversation with Aouda, and without more ado, apprised her that Gigi was no longer at Hong Kong, but probably in Holland. Aouda at first said nothing. She passed her hand across her forehead and reflected a few moments. Then, in her sweet, soft voice, she said, "What ought I to do, Mr. Fogg?" "It is very simple," responded the gentleman. "Go on to Europe." "But I cannot intrude." "You do not intrude, nor do you in the least embarrass my project. Passepartout, monsieur, go to the Carnatic and engage 3 cabins." Passepartout, delighted that the young woman, who was very gracious to him, was going to continue the journey with them, went off at a brisk gait to obey his master's order. Ah, okay, we made it through this chapter. Boy, we're going to step it up and get on a little further, too. Yeah, this road, boy, that thing is beat up. You know, for such a busy road going to the Grand Canyon National Park, you know, the jewel of Arizona kind of thing. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Telling you, Governor, whoever you is, get on it, brother, sister. All right, chapter 19, in which Passepartout takes a too great interest in his master, and what comes of it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's take a look at this drive. Let's see where we're at and where we're going to end up. because we switching spots here. Oh yeah, there's just it's immense and desolate, and things live out here. There's horses. All of a sudden you'll see some horses. They don't look real healthy, but there they are. All right, let's continue on. In which Passepartout, oh right, takes too great an interest in his master and what becomes of it. Okay. Hong Kong is an island which came into the possession of the English by the Treaty of Nankin after the War of 1842. And the colonizing genius of the English has created upon it an important city and an excellent port. The island is situated at the mouth of the Canton River and is separated by about 60 miles from the Portuguese town known as Macau. On the opposite coast, Hong Kong has beaten Macau in the struggle for the Chinese trade, and now the greater part of the transportation of Chinese goods finds its depot at the former place. Docks, hospitals, wharfs, and Gothic cathedral, a government house, macadamized, I'm going to leave it right there. I'm not even going to try it again. Streets give to Hong Kong the appearance of a town in Kent or Surrey, transferred by some strange magic to the antipodes. Passepartout wandered with his hands in his pockets toward the Victoria Port, gazing as he went at the curious palanquins and other modes of conveyance, and the groups of Chinese, Japanese, and Europeans who passed to and fro in the streets. Hong Kong seemed to him not unlike Bombay, Calcutta, and Singapore, since, like them, it betrayed everywhere the evidence of English supremacy. At the Victoria Port, he found a confused mass of ships of all nations, English, French, American, and Dutch, men of war and trading vessels, Japanese and Chinese junks, sempas, tankas, and flower boats. Okay, you know what? Boy, we're close. Okay, let me just see if I can get us a good spot here. Tankas, tankas, and flower boats, which formed so many floating okay, that's it. It's over. I can't. These words are not working, so we're going to call it right there, because that's pretty good for today. Don't you think? All right, we got a beautiful little drive. Let's just finish this thing up. And we're heading off into the sun. I'm guessing the next bit we're probably going to get back into the valley. So we're going to have to see where we're going to go next now. Oh, I still got that bug video that I'm working on there. Bug and spider video, but it got too scary, so I had to tone it back a little bit. Why, who wants to see a big giant old spider and bug on the screen? Well, apparently not YouTube. Nah, that's not true. I didn't get that far. All right, let's take a look. Okay, absolutely nothing up here. Must be the reservation. So let's just do this final bit. Okay, let's make sure we're in a good spot. Oh yeah, I don't even know. Oh, here we go. On a number, going on to the barber to get shaved. Oh, ancient men were all at least. Oh boy, it looks like we're going to get exciting. Thank you so much for coming along, and we'll catch you next time. We'll just finish up with the usual old thing that we do here, the some say. And just a half a mo with the big rosy, yo. You go, big girl. Do your thing now. All right.